Hello, and here we go for another circuit. For this one, we're gonna start down on the ground. We're gonna do a chest and a glute workout to start off with. So you will need your weights or your water bottles, whatever you have on hand. And we're gonna come down to the floor and we're gonna do pullovers to our waist. So we're gonna start with our arms extended overhead. We'll bring those up, turn the dumbbells in, and then press to the waist. Press up, turn the dumbbells out, and extend fully over our heads. So this will become a fluid motion. As we come through, we're coming to the waist and then extending over our heads. Combining these two exercises is going to target the chest muscles from all angles. So you want to pick a weight that doesn't create too much tension as you're pulling over your head. So it might be a little bit of a lighter weight here for these. Come down to the waist and extend over the top of the head. Depending on how much weight you choose here, your tempo may slow. So if you're going heavy with these, your tempo is going to be a little slower than what I'm going. I'm using 5 pounds, so I can go at a pretty medium tempo. You never want to go too fast. You always want to stay in control. But if you're using a lighter weight, your body is just going to naturally flow through these movements a little bit faster. And that's okay. 3, 2, and last one here. We're going to come up and we're going to do glute kicks. Now with these, you can use a weight or you don't have to use a weight at all. So we're going to come into a tabletop position. We're going to take one of the weights if you're using it, and we're going to put it and tuck it behind the knee. So if you're using a heavy weight with these, you want to be real careful and make sure that you're not causing any pain to the back of your knee. If your weight, if it's like a 12-pound weight, you may have to drop to a 5. You need to pick a weight that's comfortable behind the knee. And again, these can be done without any weight at all. So we're in our tabletop position, we're stabilized, and we're just going to kick straight up to the air and then come down. So there's a variation on this, which I'm going to show you in just a second. We'll come up, and then I want you to squeeze 1 inch and then come down. So we'll take it up 1 more inch, and then come down. So the movement is 1, 2, and then come down. Always slow and controlled here. We want to feel the muscle working. We want to make sure that our upper body is stable. And as we go through these movements, mind-muscle connection here. A lot of people will ask, should your foot be flexed or pointed? And I always recommend that you want your concentration on the muscle that you're intending to work. So if you're concentrating on your foot being flexed or pointed and you end up with a cramp in your foot, that's going to take away from the glute muscle, which is the muscle we want to work. 3, 2, and last one here. So from here, we're going to remove the weight. We'll come back to the pullovers, situate ourselves here, and we'll come back down to our pullovers. Now again here, just like in any core exercise, you want your lower back pressed into the ground. That will stabilize the upper body. So we're here and we extend over the head, come back, come to your waist, push up, and then extend overhead. It's slow and controlled. We're thinking about the muscles that we want to work here, and these are the chest muscles. You're getting a little bit of your back with the pullover, but by adding in this press here, we're making sure that we're hitting the chest muscle from all sides. Again, maintain control. If you're dropping your weight or if you're having to use momentum to bring the weights up, you need to drop the amount of weight. It should be slow and controlled. 3, 2, and last one here. We'll make a full motion, come through the pullover, and then we're going to switch sides for the glute kick. So we'll come back here. If you're using a weight, take the weight and snug it behind your knee. Move this other one out of the way. And then what we're going to do is we're going to stabilize in a tabletop position. Make sure that you're comfortable here. Hands are underneath the shoulders. And we're going to take it up for a few reps into our glute kick. So what I'm looking for right now is making sure that the weight's not wobbling around. If it is, reposition the weight. If you can't get the weight to stabilize, then just drop the weight and do these without any weights. So from here, we're going to come up and squeeze that inch and then come down. You can use ankle weights with these as well. You can also use resistance bands. So there's some options if you have them. If you don't, that's fine. Your body weight alone is resistance. So we'll take it up for 1, 2, and then down for 3. Adding that extra pulse at the top gives an extra contraction to the glute muscle. It's just like whenever you come up from a squat and you squeeze your glutes at the top of the squat, this is the exact same concept. If we're doing the exercise, we want to utilize the contraction while we're having it. 3, 2, and last one here. And then finish the movement completely before you just drop and come out of it. So we're going to come up to standing. Grab some water if you need some. We have an alternating back lunge with the lateral raise. So your lateral raise here, you can extend the arms all the way out or with your elbows bent. Really here, it's whatever's most comfortable. So we're going to do an alternating back lunge with the lateral raise. This is where we're utilizing the upper and the lower body together to get the heart rate up. So we'll stand with stability, come back, raise up, and then we'll alternate. Come back, do your raise, stand up. And you don't have to go too deep in your lunge. All you're looking for is movement in the upper and the lower body because this will raise your heart rate, getting you ready for the cardio. Knee is over your ankle. Stabilize your body. Three, two, and last one here. So now we're done with the strength section. We can drop the weights. And we're gonna start cardio. So again, the most important thing about cardio is no matter what movement that you're doing, you need to get your heart rate up to a level 7 on a scale from 1 to 10. If you can tell, my heart rate is already up from the last exercise, utilizing the upper and the lower body. Number 1 on the scale would be you're at rest. You're on the couch, you're eating dinner. 10 is all out, huffing, puffing, just full force. You want it at about a 7. You want to be working. So if you're following me and you're not feeling your heart rate go up, you want to make the movements more intense, you want to make them quicker, or you want to choose something different, taking a real quick sprint up and down the street. That's one way to do it. It's just 3 to 5 minutes of cardio. Then you come back to the video, finish the core, and then you're done with that circuit. So for variation here, we're going to take a jog, and I'm just going to jog in place here. And again, we can just move forward and back and side to side. I have a lot of my clients that when we're in a gym setting, we'll be in the free weight area and there'll be a treadmill right next to us. So for their 3 to 5 minutes of cardio, I just go ahead and let them use a piece of equipment, and that gets their heart rate up during the section, and then we come back to the free weight area. In my group fitness classes, sometimes I'll turn a song on, everyone will dance, we'll run back and forth. So we're not always standing in place doing the same thing, but with this cardio, and if you are in a limited space and you can't go outside and run, or you don't have a long hallway, then you can just do this in a really small area and it's still gonna get your heart rate up. So if you're jogging about like I am, and you're not feeling your heart rate go up, then increase the intensity here, because this is what's gonna get your metabolism going. It's gonna get your calorie burn up. It's going to get your heart rate up. If you consistently think that you need to be working through this cardio section, it is just 3 to 5 minutes. But we need to hold it at about a level 7. So anything that you can do here to accomplish that, that's what I'm looking for. So we're gonna go into what I call repeaters. And these are basically a lunge, and you're gonna come down like you're starting a race. So you're stabilized on one leg, and you're gonna bring this leg in. So you'll start off, you may be a little wobbly, but as you come up, then you can really get the arms in, and you're gonna feel that heart rate increase. So just pretend like you're running a race here. You wanna use the arms. We're not jumping, we're not jogging. And on these, if your heart rate's not coming up, you're just gonna make the movements more aggressive. You're gonna move faster. And again, this is not about the lunge. This is about making the movements very quick. Okay, we'll switch legs. Stabilize first, come down. You're starting a race. Do a few reps so that your body can get used to the motion, and then you're gonna add the arms.
If you're having a problem with balance, you can find a focal point on the floor. If you are wearing a heart rate monitor, you can double check it just to make sure that your heart rate is high enough so that you know that you're working out hard enough. Okay, so we're done with that section. We'll go back to a jog, come back through the repeaters, and then we'll be done with cardio. So again, this is just jogging in place. You can take a spin around the table, up and down a hallway, run outside, come back. This is normally when I turn the music up in my classes. But I have a lot of people that they're gonna take their own variations. They're gonna march in place. They're gonna do maybe some high knees here. And I have everything written into these circuits so that it just offers on paper and pencil what you can do in that 3 to 5 minutes. It's not limited to that. But it also helps to have these videos when you're on vacation, you're in a hotel room, and let's say the hotel doesn't have a fitness center and it doesn't really have a place to run around. So I write these in so that no matter what, there is a small space to work out in, and you can do these movements and it will raise your heart rate. Okay, so we're gonna go back into the repeaters again. So we're here, our heart rate is up. We'll stabilize, and we just bring that knee in, moving the upper body along with it. I have some people who will use 2 hands like this. Again, it's really a free movement. As long as your heart rate is up, five, 4, 3, 2, and last one here. We'll switch sides. So here, since your heart rate is up, you definitely want to stabilize first. And we're just going to bring it in. I would not recommend using weights during your cardio. And the reason is because with high intensity training, you want to make sure that your heart rate is going up pretty quickly. And when you're holding weights, that's going to add resistance, which will make your heart rate go up. But because since we did just do strength, the cardio section alone should stand by itself to raise your heart rate. A lot of times when you're doing cardio and holding weights, it can lead to a lot of injuries as well. So we're going to go into what I call opposite arm windmills. Your heart rate is going to stay up, and you're going to stand wide stance, arms out. We're going to take the right arm to the left leg, left arm comes across. So it looks like this. You have a slight bend in your knee. You're concentrating on your core, making sure that you're stable and tucked in. You're working your back, you're working your core, and you're keeping your heart rate up from that cardio. If you're not reaching the floor, that's fine too. It's mainly about the motion here. So if you're here, but you still maintain that twist, that's fine too. There's tons of variations to all of these exercises. Not everybody is as flexible as the next one. Okay, we're gonna switch to the other side. So we have left arm, right leg, right arm comes across. So we touch, and then we pull. And again, if you can reach the ground, this is about what the twist is gonna look like. If you can't, it's just gonna be a little bit shorter on these movements here. And that's fine too. As long as you're stable in your core, you're bringing in that belly button, and you're breathing, then you're good. Just like in a deadlift, it's not if you can reach the ground, it's where your hamstrings will stretch before you pull up. To some people, that's to their knee. To some people, that's all the way to the floor. Same as a squat. Some people can go really deep into a squat. Some people can't. It's about the contraction of the muscle and your range of motion. Whenever you're finding the best way to do an exercise, your range of motion, finding your best range of motion is where you want to be. Don't compare yourself to others. 3, 2, and last one here. Okay, so we're gonna come down, do a little bit of a core section here. Move your weights if they're in your way. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna do a reverse lunge with a regular, or reverse crunch with a regular crunch. And we're gonna utilize some static holds. So we're down here, stabilize first, anchor in that lower back. So again, you want to be able to do this and not be able to stick your hand between your back and the mat or the floor. So we're just going to come up, squeeze in that lower belly, and then down. If you can raise your hips up here. Slow and controlled movements. Three, 2. On this last one, we're going to take the hold. So we're here and we're holding in a tabletop position. If you want to extend your legs, that's fine. And you want to drop them as far as you can without the lower back coming off the floor. So if that's here or here, that's fine. So we're holding statically for 3, 2, 1. While we're holding, now we're going to bring in the upper body. Very slowly. Again, we're looking at the ceiling. Pinning the lower back to the ground. Three, 2, last one, and we're gonna hold. If this is uncomfortable, bring your hands behind your neck, just for support. Let your head go back and stare at the ceiling. You're using all of your concentration and contraction right here in your core. Your back is anchored to the ground. The belly button is driving into the spine. For 3, 2, 1. And then come down and rest. And that's another circuit. I hope you enjoyed. If this is your first one or your last one of the day, I hope you continue on or go into the cool down. Have a great day.